the way that the Ethereum Foundation has done this merge is that they've already built the spaceship.
How do you think this will affect the NFT space in the next 1 year?
Just a 0.5% capture of the international financial system results in Ethereum reaching a price of $20,000.
It's like a 6-7x. So how will Ethereum 2.0 or this merge, as they call it, solve this problem?
Proof of stake blockchain would require just like the size of a screwdriver compared to the Burj Khalifa.
This is the Crypto Sheikhs. This is the leading podcast in Dubai and the UAE, where you, regardless of your skill level, will learn everything from cryptocurrencies to blockchain technologies.
All right, another episode of the Crypto Sheikhs Podcast. I'm live in Dubai with my main man, Danosch. How's it going? It's been a long time.
It's been a week, yeah.
Has it been a week?
No, but it's been a long time since the two of us did an episode.
You know what? That's exactly my point. How many people have told us, like, come on, stop it with the guests. Let's bring back the old G's back together to just have a chat about, what's going on.
Yeah, it's fun to be back and just, go back to the roots sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually around this time last year that we were tinkering at, what was it, Foundry? I think it was. It was right around this time when we were tinkering out in Foundry with, they have a podcast studio, by the way, not as cool as ours. But
so we were sitting there trying to record a podcast with the equipment, had no idea how it worked.
Yeah.
And the episode was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I think we talked about nothing.
Yeah, literally. I was beatboxing and you were just laughing.
Well, a lot has changed in a year. It's pretty crazy to see the amount of growth we've had. Obviously, the amount of interest in crypto in the Middle East has skyrocketed. It's really, I feel really privileged right now to be in this space.
We're blessed to be in the right spot at the right time. I mean, crypto right now in the Middle East is growing massively. Seems like the whole world is moving to Dubai. And I believe this space is very bullish, both in terms of NFTs, metaverse, and everything crypto related. So very exciting to be in this place at this time.
Before we start with the episode, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Arts DAO. Arts DAO is obviously the company that we run. And the Crypto Sheikhs Podcast is now officially becoming part of the Arts DAO mechanism and ecosystem. But we're doing a drop for all members of the Arts DAO community. Every month we host some pretty incredible events. And right now we'll be doing a drop at the end of next month. So keep an eye out for that. The Eternal Gates collection will be a pretty cool drop because it gets you into our DAO.
And this DAO is going to be a game changer for this region. It's going to be the kind of next generation of DAOs in terms of we're going to be nurturing artists, creators in the space and help to really accelerate all projects coming out of the Middle East. Not all, but the ones that we find to be golden eggs. And also, I believe if you compare this DAO together, versus Flamingo DAO, you have Fingerprint DAO, all of these DAOs coming out of the US, hasn't really been anything coming out of the Middle East. And we hope to be that kind of shining star from this region.
Exactly. All right. So now on to business. Today, I think we need to have a really important episode on the merge, the Ethereum merge. Not many people know a lot about this. Some people do, OGs do, but the merge is part of Ethereum 2.0. And I thought it made sense that we did an episode on Ethereum a while back, if you remember.
That was one of the first episodes where we explained what Ethereum is and how it works.
Exactly. We haven't really done anything about Ethereum since then, and a lot has changed. So this episode, we'll be talking about, one, the critical part around Ethereum 2.0, the merge, some key updates around what's happened with Ethereum, and also, I think, what the changes to the NFT space, we could see with this kind of this massive change taking place.
Yeah. So my question now is, how do you see this playing out? How do you see Ethereum moving forward? It has been had a lot of criticism, especially from the NFT space, because of the high gas prices. People, pay sometimes $100 up to $200 to just mint an NFT. it's absolutely crazy. The network is very congested. So how will Ethereum 2.0 or this merge, as they call it, solve this problem?
All right. So let's start with what the whole thing is about. Right? Why is this merge even happening? Okay. Why is it even called the merge? So imagine right now, you and I, we are on a train. Okay. This train is moving, but it's an old school train, right? One of those gas fire engine kind of trains, right? And this train represents, in my view, proof of work, which is how Ethereum is currently, the Ethereum consensus mechanism is built on proof of work. And we've talked about this with Bitcoin, right? Basically, the way it works right now is all around the world, people mine Ethereum by solving a really hard mathematical problem using a number of different computers. And that's how you get issued Ethereum, right? I'm not sure if this is correct, but the average miner would make 2 Ethereum when they solve this problem, right? And what that does is ensure the security of the blockchain, right? Now, there are many problems with proof of work, and I think we may have touched on them before, but one of the key problems, especially right now, is from an environmental perspective, it's very problematic, okay? And very recently, the European Union talked about how proof of work really affects the environment because you need to use a lot of computers to maintain the system. It's not really sustainable, okay? So the objective of Ethereum 2.0 is to migrate Ethereum from a proof of work blockchain into what's called a proof of stake blockchain. And a proof of stake blockchain basically means that people who have coins, right, they stake their coins onto the protocol, and based on that, they ensure the security of the blockchain. There's no longer this mathematical problem being solved by computers all over the world.
Correct.
Now, this is important because currently the miners are the ones who are the big winners here, right? If you run an Ethereum kind of,
server
node, right, you're making lots of money every time somebody transacts, right? So if I buy an NFT on OpenSea, what I'm really doing is I'm writing something on that ledger. And somebody has to put it on that ledger, right? And that's the Ethereum miner who gets paid effectively for doing that. Now, the idea is to move away from that so that you and me, the stakers on a proof of stake blockchain with our own Ethereum, we earn from the transactions taking place on the Ethereum blockchain. That's far more decentralized. It's far more, obviously, it's super gas efficient. Just by way of an example of how gas efficient it would be, if you think about the energy required to maintain the Burj Khalifa, imagine it's like this much. It's huge, right? Now, the amount of energy required for a proof of work blockchain is like, imagine 20% of that, right? A proof of stake blockchain would require just like the size of a screwdriver compared to the Burj Khalifa.
It's much more environmentally friendly as well.
It's way more environmentally friendly, right? Okay, so that's a big part of it. Now, what is the merge? Currently, as I've said, we are in a proof of stake blockchain, right? And we're on this train, this old train. The merge is an attempt to bridge this old train onto a spaceship, which is flying elsewhere. The merge has, the way that the Ethereum Foundation has done this merge is that they've already built the spaceship, okay? The spaceship is, right now, you're able to stake Ethereum. 2.0 it kind of exists. It's been in place since, I think late last year, December, I think. So you can go on, if you have 32 Ethereum, you can go and stake that onto a node. You can have a node, and you can begin to earn Ethereum rewards. It's somewhere around 8 to 11% yield right now, which is similar to some other blockchains. Okay, like Polkadot, etc. The merge, what it does is it takes that train, it takes the spaceship which already exists, and it brings it together, so that the blockchain with proof of work kind of disappears, and what's left is this spaceship that's going to the moon or Mars.
So that's quite interesting because, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously, competition in the space. There's a lot of blockchains trying to rival Ethereum. There has been a lot of criticism on Ethereum not being efficient enough. So how do you see this pan out now with the competition? Because what we're seeing as well is there's a lot of developers working on the Ethereum blockchain, and they do attract a lot of Solidity developers. And if you think about the kind of the network effects of that, is that it just drives Ethereum, much faster forward. So is this kind of the crucial breaking point for Ethereum to kind of take the leap and take the lead in the race?
I think what's really important to realize here is Ethereum has serious market dominance right now. Okay, it's become effectively, some people call it a winner takes all market. And one of the reasons that's the case is so much development is happening on Ethereum that it sort of has achieved economies of scale where it makes sense to train yourself as a developer for Ethereum rather than other blockchains, which often have a higher cost of learning how to understand their smart contract language. Like, we have Solidity on Ethereum and then Rust on these other blockchains, right? Now, I think one thing that we need to talk about, which is really important, is in December, this past December, we had the so-called London upgrade of Ethereum. And what that did was it effectively took gas fees and they burned them, right? Burning basically means that when the gas is sort of priced, the foundation or the blockchain sends it to a wallet without a seed, and it just disappears.
So it's deflationary.
This is important. Yeah, this means that as transactions take place on Ethereum is being destroyed.
It's being reduced in supply.
Supply. I looked into some stats. Currently, there's about 118 million, I think, in Ethereum worldwide, something like that, right? And what's going to happen now when you have a proof of stake, when this merge happens? This is the critical part. We're going to undergo a process equal to 3 halvenings. Okay, now let's talk about the halvening first. If you guys remember, we talked about this on the Bitcoin discussion a while back. Every 4 years, Bitcoin reduces its supply by half. Right? Currently, it issues, I forgot the number. I think it was 12 something. I forgot the number, but it issues a certain amount of Bitcoin. And every 4 years, that supply that is issued is reduced by half. This is part of what makes it called sound money, right? Like gold, like silver, reduced supply.
It's finite in supply.
Exactly, results in it becoming a hedge to inflation. So what's happening with the merge is effectively apparently equal to 3 halvenings happening at the same time for Ethereum, because the inflationary rate of Ethereum currently is approximately 4%. That's what I've seen online, and based on some of the stats I've been able to look at. The merge is going to cause Ethereum's inflation rate to go from 4% to 0.8% per year. Meaning, if you think about a graph that looks like this, it's going upwards.
It's going to stagnate.
It's suddenly going to stagnate right now, right? The second part is Ethereum is now going to offer a lot of people the ability to stake, to earn close to 8, going all the way up to apparently 15%. So if you own Ethereum and you want to earn yield, right, effectively like a bond, right? Ethereum kind of becomes like a bond. You're going to take as much of that Ethereum as you can and stake it, take it off the exchanges, resulting in a supply crunch across the market. That will result, apparently, from a lot of sort of commentators on Ethereum really skyrocketing in price, going from where it is right now, 3,500, to very easily hitting 10,000. So Arthur Hayes, who is one of the most famous commentators on crypto, He recently penned an article saying he believes Ethereum is headed to 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, Raoul Pal is a big proponent of Ethereum. He's been talking about Ethereum for a very long time, and he is super bullish on Ethereum. I think he has his biggest bag on Ethereum. And there's another point about Ethereum. People talk about decentralization, that blockchain technologies should be decentralized. But in a way, if Ethereum is the winner that takes it all, how do you see that being decentralized, especially when people can propose changes and the protocol can be changed? Because in Bitcoin, it's not as you can't change the Bitcoin network as much as you can with Ethereum.
It's a good point. It's a really good point. The foundation, has the right to change the nature of the protocol.
So what risks do you see with that?
The risks would probably be that, what would they realistically do? They could change the protocol so that the Ethereum could be issued, right? Or they could change the protocol in such a way where, maybe the staking yields aren't as attractive. The thing is, though, Ethereum has kind of reached a place where it's got so much infrastructure built on it now. If you think about OpenSea being the NFT marketplaces, and then you've got DeFi, you've got Ethereum itself, people holding it. You've got video games, like play to earn games, right? If you think about all that, right, that's a lot of infrastructure that's built on Ethereum. So it's pretty substantial. And it's sort of, think about it this way. Amazon has a lot of people are transacting on Amazon because it's got the most amount of volume, right? Some might say, does it make sense to have so many different blockchains all over the world? Or does it make more sense to have one blockchain, which the majority of transactions are sort of occurring, right? Because then there's stability there, right?
Imagine if you would have 10 different internets. It's a little bit the same thing.
Exactly, right? The whole point of Ethereum is it's meant to be the world's global computer, right? And now that we have major brands growing on it, we've got, Nike building their NFT collection on it. We've got, we've just heard about Dolce & Gabbana now doing their drop. We have banks building on it. There's various infrastructure plays happening on Ethereum now that I find it very difficult to see any other competing blockchain taking significant market share away from it.
So there is this argument that the whole DeFi movement that is built on Ethereum, not all is built on Ethereum, but the one that is built on Ethereum is taking away market share from traditional finance. So people are saying, coming with all different estimates of what the price of Ethereum would be if Ethereum starts to replace traditional finance. So I know you looked into some of those numbers. So where could we potentially see Ethereum going?
This is a really good point. Yeah. So right now, this is just based on if you look at the global financial system and you project their revenues, right? This is based on an article that Arthur Hayes wrote, and I can link it in the notes to this podcast. But if Ethereum only took 0.5% of that international sort of revenue stream from financial markets, so banking,
lending,
like all of it, right? Ethereum's price would hit $20,000. That alone, okay? So now if we up the numbers a little more, right, it quickly goes up significantly. Based on his article at the very top end, if Ethereum were to take 100% of the market, it would be worth $4 million. Not realistic, right? But I think what's really bullish is that just a 0.5% capture of the international financial system
It's
results
almost
in
like,
Ethereum reaching a price of $20,000.
it's like a 6-7x.
Yeah, which is pretty significant, I'd say. Now, I think we should talk about some other stuff here, which is really, really relevant, right? If Ethereum were to skyrocket to 10,000, the effect on the NFT space would be pretty significant, right? And one of the main reasons that is the case is because NFTs often serve as a hedge to Ethereum. When the reason why is NFTs prefer to trade when Ethereum is stable. So, when people who don't trade NFTs might not appreciate this, but if you hold NFTs, the whole point is to buy NFTs that go up in value when valued in Ethereum. So let's say more famous collection right now that both of us are big fans of, the Clone X by Artifact, right? Last week they were at 15 ETH, right? And today they've skyrocketed to 20 ETH. But this is still priced in a value of $3,500, right? Which is the price of Ethereum right now. Now, if Ethereum were to go down in value, right, often what we see
is an increase in the NFT price.
Yeah, because the dollar value
stays the same.
Yeah, so to speak. And so
in essence, NFTs are a great hedge against Ethereum price dropping.
Exactly. Now, we have never seen what happens if there was an astronomical or exponential growth in the Ethereum price and how that would affect the NFT ecosystem. But what we know from past experiences when Ethereum went up to 4K,
NFTs went down.
They went down big time, exactly. So a lot of people we've been speaking to within our Arts DAO community, some of them are very significant players, some of them are whales. A lot of them are actually a little bit wary of this. And many of them have began to offload some of their NFTs in anticipation of the merge. The belief being that once the merge happens, Ethereum begins to skyrocket towards 6,000, 7,000 or whatever, NFTs will go down big time in price. And it'll be a great time to buy NFTs at a bargain, actually, rather than hold them at as they go down, right? It's better to be heavy in ETH so you can buy NFTs at a bargain than to hold NFTs through the merge and see your value, the NFTs that you bought, go down in ETH value.
I mean, that's very relevant for us as well as, as Arts DAO, because we're launching our own NFT token. And based on that, we're launching it in return for ETH. And we're looking to help to finance artists in the space and basically nurture traditional artists, creators, people in the GameFi industry. So that's a very important point for anyone, I think. Even if you run an investment company, if you're in the space, if you're a collector, if you're an investor, whatever you are, I think that's a very important point to take. And I think the risk now of having too much NFTs versus ETH is that it can easily blow up. Exactly.
So my personal view is that if you're listening in and you're wondering what to do, I think a very easy move right now we are in an accumulation period for Ethereum. I'm seeing loads of on-chain buys happening. I'm seeing, if you use Ethereum sort of stats, like on Dune and other on-chain stats, you'll see that a lot of Ethereum outflows are happening right now from exchanges, major exchanges. So people are taking ETH off and just holding it. You and I know many people within our community who are just stacking ETH like crazy. We know a couple of people who sold their Bored Apes. We know some people who sold, their really valuable clones and, significant NFTs that many people would love to hold, but people are selling them, in view of the merge.
So this is a bit of insider information. It's a bit of alpha to the listeners out there. And I mean, NFTs is things that people usually have some sort of emotional attachment to because it is, it is their flex. They don't want to easily get rid of it because they kind of associate themselves with their PFP, profile picture. So to do that means that there must be a lot of conviction that price will go up.
Exactly. Significant conviction.
So it's an interesting point. So if we now look at, Ethereum 2.0, and because we're seeing a lot of people getting tired of paying gas fees. A lot of people are tired of this congested network. They want to move over to Tezos. They want to move over to Solana. They want to move over to all these different blockchains. How do you think this will affect the NFT space in the next 1 year?
So just to make this clear, this merge doesn't actually solve the gas problem, unfortunately. All it solves is it moves Ethereum from a proof of work blockchain into a full-scale proof of stake blockchain. But the gas problems aren't related to that. It's related to basically the size of the way that supply and demand is working on the blockchain ledger. It's currently, like I use this example many times, but like a book. Imagine the book is just too small, and there are too many transactions coming in, causing gas to go up. Right?
Because there is a lot of people in the NFT space that, every time they talk about gas fees, they're like, well, Ethereum 2.0 will solve that. So is that a misconception?
No, it's not. I think Ethereum 2.0 is a multiple package, right? Because Ethereum is such a significant piece of infrastructure now, it's not easy. You can't just change it all up in one go. You've got to do it in bits and bobs, right? So before this, we were currently in the so-called beacon chain of Ethereum. Now they're doing the merge. Notice how they do the merge. They built the spaceship first while we're still on the train, and then got us to migrate over. A good way to think about what Ethereum is going through right now is that imagine it's flying and you're rebuilding, you're on an airplane and you're rebuilding the engine, which is currently fueled by normal fuel, to be fueled by solar power, right? Right, that's exactly what you're trying to do right now, but you're on the plane doing it. So what they've done is, like, imagine you're on the plane and they built a separate plane right next to it, right, which is solar powered. And now what's going to happen is this plane will just become merged into this plane, and then you're going to be on this plane. But the gas problems won't be solved yet. That has to be solved by an additional update after the merge, where they will be sharding up the blockchain to allow for more space to be included for transactions, allowing gas prices to go down. But I will say one thing about gas prices, which is actually a good thing. Gas prices help reduce scams in the NFT space because it costs a lot to create an NFT collection vis-a-vis, the likes of Solana or even Tezos. The high cost of producing a collection results in scammers being less sort of interested in creating random collections. It hasn't been foolproof. It hasn't been foolproof, but we've seen a lot more scams, for example, on Matic, on Polygon, on Solana, than we have on Ethereum.
But just be careful out there, guys, because there is still a lot of scams. And even though there might be less on Ethereum, people, through these scams, they make millions of dollars and do all kinds of rug pulls. So just, do your research before you invest. So I think, that was a good update about Ethereum. I think that we hope that you guys as listeners got a good view. Is there anything else you would like to add on the merge?
Yeah, I think for people who are interested in exploring this a little more, I'd suggest you check out the Ethereum Foundation's website. But also, I would recommend a site called ETH Merge, so ETHMERGE.com. If you're interested in also staking, you can actually stake your Ethereum now. So many people don't know this, but there's Rocket, I think it's called Rocket ETH, or Rocket Pool. That's one platform where you can stake your Ethereum. You don't have to have 32 ETH right now. You only need a smaller portion, which you can pool with other people. I would suggest people explore this now. Why? You don't want to be doing this when the merge has actually happened. You want to sort of explore the ETH staking mechanisms now while it's in testnet before it actually goes live. So check that out. Check out also Lido Finance, another very interesting platform. But yeah, I think this is a huge value add episode. You know, there are many people in the NFT space who know nothing about this and don't see what's coming. So if you're in the NFT space, you definitely want to be taking some profits and holding and stacking ETH ahead of this major event, which is set to completely change how, you know, the Ethereum blockchain will look like going forward.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on the Crypto Sheikhs podcast.
And see you next time.
Peace and love.